my name is Liz. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, we do lots of bookish things on this channel, whether that be studying, reading, or just kind of living life, but centering life around books sometimes. You are in the right place, so I'm excited to have you. As you can probably tell by the title of this video, this is my first ever 24-hour reading challenge. And I am nervous, to say the least, but I'm excited to get started. I am become overwhelmed by my physical TBR and just my TBR in general. And I feel like I'm like in the worst reading slump of my life right now. I have no desire to want to pick up books. I don't sit and read as much as I used to. So I'm excited to have 24 hours of just reading time. How I think we're going to do this challenge this time is I'm going to break it up into two 12-hour reading days. And so I'm going to get 12 hours in today and then 12 hours in tomorrow. And then I give myself a day to recover before I start my work week next week. I'm hopeful to finish 4 books is the goal. I'm about 50% of the way through Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and I need to finish this one because I really liked it. If I want to keep continuing on this story, I have the second one, so I can just jump right into the next one. Or if I, am not feeling right then, I can jump into another book. I am listening to Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab on audio. So if I am doing things, if I need a break from reading with my eyes and I want to read with my ears for a little bit, I think I'm going to pick up this one. I'm about 45% of the way through it, I think, and it's starting to get really, really good. So I'm very excited to keep listening to this one. I know I have laundry to do, so we might be listening to that while I do some laundry. And then just something to switch up the vibe a little bit is I have Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I have never read an Ali Hazelwood book before, and I was like, is this the right one to start with when she has such a big backlog? Maybe not, but this is the first one that's ever really intrigued me, and so I am really excited to read this one as well. I also am a mood reader through and through, so I may be picking up my Kindle throughout the day and just reading the books that I have on my Kindle. The one I'm reading right now is called Ruin. It's a duology, and it's like a romantic fantasy duology, I think. So we may be reading on our Kindle for a little bit too. But these are the physical books that I know I for sure want to get through in the next 24 hours. As soon as I got comfortable on the couch, Luna was ready to go outside. So I've hooked on my headphones and we are gonna go sit in the sunshine and play outside for a little bit while Luna gets some energy out. So maybe we can enjoy the rest of the day. Luna. Luna. There she is. Hi, pretty girl. Okay, we are 1 hour into our readathon. I am reading Ruin by, Ruin the Infernus Duology, Book 1. And I am 35% of the way in. So let me tell you about this, who are our book so far. So Ruin is about 2 people. Of course, we've got Renwick, who is our MMC, and we've got Auralia, sure, who's our FMC. So Auralia is a princess in another land, basically, but she has the ability to possess both magic that gives life and magic that gives, like, that takes away life, basically. I don't want to call it death magic because I don't know if that's what I would call it, but definitely, like, she can make a tree bloom and then she can make a tree go to ash, right? So she can kind of control who, like, the power of life in those kinds of ways. And so she is basically in this gilded cage. Oh, it's windy. She's in this gilded cage with her stepbrother, we think, and who she thinks is her stepdad or father figure, who is the king, and he basically has her on like a super tight leash. Like, she hasn't had physical contact with another person for 250 years, which is insane to me. Even as a person who's not a super like physical touchy person, 250 years is a long time. So she has to like wear all these gloves. She doesn't touch anybody, X, Y, and Z. And then we've got Renwick, who is our MMC, and he is what they're calling him, like, the king of the underworld. And so we're not too far into it yet, but within the first 10 chapters, something happens where he kind of like watches over the other kingdom, right, and is kind of trying to see what happens. And, like, you know, what are they planning, a war? Are they doing those kinds of things? And then she gets upset with her father figure guy because she wants to go to the front lines, right? Because she thinks she can be helpful, and something triggers her and some bad stuff happen, and she runs away, right? So she runs and she's trying to get out of the castle that is basically warded to keep her in, and she breaks through it, and Renwick is there, and he like he doesn't capture her, but he saves her. But in her eyes, she sees it as being captured, right? Because she's basically been abused by her by the king for so long. And so now we are in his kingdom. We are in the kingdom of, I don't want to call it the underworld, but like the kingdom of the unliving. And he's trying to like show her the ways of the kingdom and trying to get to know her and be nice to her. And she's like not having it, right? Because she just has this like warped sense of who he is. And so I can definitely tell that there's going to be some groveling, as well as some like getting to know each other and like things like that. So far, it's very, very good. There's a lot of really fun side characters. Like there's this soul whose name I can't remember, but they are a non-binary soul, and that's basically who is helping Auralia through this kingdom, and they are so fun. So yeah, okay, back to reading. 1 hour and 45 minutes into the readathon. See, and I already feel myself getting tired, so I needed to talk to the camera for a minute so I could wake back up. We have read almost 25% of this book, like since the last time. So I'm like currently 50% of the way through the book. It's getting really good. It's definitely giving like Hades Persephone retelling vibes, which I don't hate, but like I think the Hades and Persephone retellings are like low-key overdone. But that's fine. They're starting to become friends-ish. Like he's training her to use her powers and like all that, and she's making the underworld grow life again. Even though I keep calling it the underworld, it's not really the underworld. It's just the place where souls go, the afterlife. I don't know. I don't really know what it's like a different kingdom where like the dead things go. So yeah, and he has a 3-headed dog, which is definitely giving Hades vibes, right? So yeah, definitely giving Hades Persephone retelling. which I'm not mad about. She doesn't really have Persephone vibes, but he definitely has Hades vibes, which I'm not mad about. But Luna, who you can't see, is not sleeping. She was sleeping, and now she's not sleeping. But I'm thinking I'm gonna read, excuse me, I'm gonna read for another hour, and then I'm gonna go do some laundry and listen to my audiobook to wake myself back up. How am I only 2 hours in and I'm already so tired? Like, this is gonna be the longest 12 hours of my life. I think, here's my prediction. I bet they are like fated mates. Yeah, Luna, I bet that they are. I bet they're fated mates. Because, I don't know how to say that without spoiling it. Anyways, I think they're fated mates. Okay, this is how long we've been reading. I don't know if you can read that. And I need to take a brain break from reading on my Kindle for so long. So I have some work to do on my computer. So I'm gonna throw on my audiobook. I started a little laundry, and we're gonna do some audiobook and computer time for a minute. Hopefully not too long, but yeah. Okay, I've been reading with the audiobook, and I've been doing some work on my computer, but I wanted to show you something because people ask me about this all the time, and I was like, oh, this would be a great time to show you. So I'm a big Notion user. If you don't know what Notion is, it's basically a database, like a personal database, so you can like keep the things that you're doing together. Right, it can be lists, it can be trackers, it can be whatever or anything you need to do. So I use Notion, and it pretty much runs my entire life, which we love. But I wanted to show you that I have a habit of forgetting how many series I'm in the middle of, right? Like, I'll read the first book in a series and realize that the third book doesn't come out for another year or whatever, and I will just forget about that series or forget when the next one comes out, what it was called, all of that stuff. And Goodreads gets so bogged down, and Fable and all of those, like, there's not a good way of being like, okay, what series am I still in the middle of? So I created a Notion template just to keep track of the books that I own, specifically my reading year, and then I can kind of see all of the things. So here, let me see if I can show you. Okay, here is my Notion. Okay, here is my Notion page. I got this template off of Notion itself, so anybody can find this, and I've just kind of edited it to make it look like my own. And so it's kind of broken down into these sections, and you can kind of scroll to see the home page. Okay. This really helps me as I'm doing my wrap-ups, because then I have like a clear way that I can like see what I've rated things. If the author is new to me, right, did I have to input the new author information? Was it a series that I want to go back to, or am I okay with not going back to it? And just knowing kind of where I am in all of my books. It also is kind of what I'm doing to know what's in my physical library, so that whenever I go book shopping, I can just like look through this and be like, okay, do I own this book already and I just haven't read it? Or can I buy it and add it to my collection? So yeah, I also track my arcs in here and like what arcs I'm reading. So it's been a really fun system, because sometimes arcs aren't in Goodreads yet, or they're not in Fable yet, which is my primary use. I use Fable more than I use Goodreads. But Fable doesn't always have all of the arcs in there yet, or if it's like too far from the date it's published. So sometimes I just have to kind of be aware of that. So yeah, but I'm gonna go back to updating this. This is what I'm doing while I'm listening to my audiobook. and then we'll get back to reading our Kindle book. Okay, we are now down to 8.5 hours left of today, and we're headed back outside. So, oh, that was really loud. And we're headed back outside. So I'm gonna grab my Kindle and we're gonna go get some more sunshine. I hope there's more shade this time than there was earlier. It is currently 96 degrees outside, so I don't think we'll be out very long. We are 5.5 hours in, so we've got 6.5 hours left of today's 12 hours. And I finished book 1. So we finished Ruin, the book I was reading on my Kindle. I give it a solid, I want to say either a 3.75 or a 4, because it 100% is a Hades Persephone retelling. And I didn't really notice it too bad, but then like all of these like pomegranate references started showing up. And don't get me wrong, I love a Hades and Persephone retelling. So if that's your thing, like, you would eat this book up. But I was just, I don't know, wasn't really, that's not what I went into it expecting. So I was kind of like taken back by that. And it kind of took down the rating for me a little bit. But I really liked it. I thought the book was good. But it wasn't my favorite. I definitely am going to read the second one because now I have to know what happens, and thankfully it's only a duology. But I think I'm going to jump to Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I'm going to listen to that while I make myself dinner. And then maybe Six of Crows or Problematic Summer Romance. I tried to read Six of Crows in my paperback version and I fell asleep. So I'm gonna see if I can find another Kindle book to read, and if I fall asleep again, we're just gonna call it a night and tack on whatever hours that I have left from today to tomorrow. Right now it looks like I have about 4 hours left, so that would make tomorrow a 16-hour reading day. Hopefully I can stay up for just a little bit longer. I was running out of snacks and sleeping, so here's a little snack haul. I DoorDashed some snacks because I got a pint of half-baked Ben & Jerry's because it's the best flavor and you can't tell me differently. And then I got a mini bag of Doritos Dynamite Sour Crowley gummy worms, a Diet Dr. Pepper, and then a giant Red Bull. I didn't mean to get this size. But apparently I did. So this will be for tomorrow. And these snacks are going to get me through the rest of these 24 hours. It is 11:23. Excuse me. It's 11:23 on day 1. I am going to stop the timer. I have technically 2 hours left, but I'm going to add those 2 hours to tomorrow's count. So then tomorrow we will have 14 hours. I finished one book. So I finished Ruin, and then I have gotten to page 335 of Six of Crows. Apparently it's on Kindle Unlimited, which I'm really excited about, so I've been reading it on my Kindle, since every time I pick up the book, the physical book itself, I fall asleep. So I'm hoping to be able to, I will definitely be able to finish that tomorrow, and then hopefully can read at least one more book. So I'm signing off for the night. Luna and I are tired. Okay, happy Saturday. I got some sleep. It is now 7:30 in the morning. So we're gonna make a latte, and then we're gonna start reading. We've got 11 hours left. So we've gotten 2 hours done this morning, so 11 more hours. We're gonna try to get some reading done outside. It's not too hot, so hopefully we'll be able to stay out here for a little bit. Luna, stop. Hey, Luna. Hey, stop. This is like one of my favorite lines so far. It says, "Do you know the secret of gambling, Helvar?" Kaz brought his good foot down on the butt of the fallen soldier's rifle. Gun flipped up. Kaz had it in his hands and pointed at Matthias in the same space of breath. He'd never been in any danger at all. Cheat. Now let's clean up and get those uniforms on. We have a party to go to. One day you'll run out of tricks, Demjin. You'd better hope it's not today. Like, that is like, this whole book is so like, there's such good like one-liners, there's tension between everyone, and we love tension, and it doesn't just have to be like romantic tension. It's just like, you never know what anybody's gonna do, you can't trust anybody, but still you have to trust everybody. It's so good. I have 30 minutes left of Six of Crows and about 9 hours left of my reading challenge, and I can feel the reading slump being lifted. Because why didn't I read this book when I was a teenager? This book is so good. It's everything that I needed it to be. Sometimes you just need a YA fantasy thriller to like bring you back to life. Cause yeah, let's finish these last 30 minutes. Okay, book number 2 is done. And I just want to tell you that I'm mad at myself for waiting this long to finish this book, because what do you mean? I know that Kaz is like only 17, but like, I wish that I would have read this when I was like, 16, 17 when it first came out, because I would have been obsessed. This would have been my entire personality. This honestly still could be my entire personality. It is dark, it's got like gothic vibes. It also has one of the best found family tropes that I have literally ever seen. Like, if you love found family, this is it. Because it definitely is like reluctant found family, and you don't really know if they trust each other or if they care about each other, but then they do things to show that they do. And it was just masterpiece. So good. I'm really excited to read the next one. I don't know if I'm going to start it today because I kind of want like a silly, goofy romance, since I've just read 2 pretty heavy like fantasy world building books. But 5 stars. It may drop to like a 4.75 because it wasn't like something that I just devoured in one sitting, but definitely high 4.7, between a 4.7 and a 5 star for sure. The next book's gonna wreck me. Like, it's gonna wreck my whole soul, because so good. I have been sitting down for a lot of today, right, as I've been reading. We have 7-ish hours left of the readathon, and I think I'm going to do some audiobook listening, and then I'm going to go do some laundry so I can, feel like I did some grown-up things this weekend. And then, so we'll do some of this on audio, shush, and then I have some graphic novels that I could read if I wanted to break up the brain a little bit. Or we talked about problematic summer romance. I've got a new Formula One romance that I could read. I don't know. We're going to listen to an audiobook for a little bit and see how that feels. And then I will pick my 3rd book. So, back to Bury Bones and the Midnight Soil. Okay, we are about 200 pages in to Bury the Bones of the Midnight Soil. Right. I had to like look it up in the book so I could see how far I've gotten. Right. This book it's so good so far. Whoever said that it's like toxic sapphic vampires is exactly right. That's exactly what this is. It reminds me a lot of The Interview with a Vampire. It kind of gives the same vibes, and I think that that's what this was based off of, but I don't remember. I think I saw that somewhere. But An Interview with a Vampire, this feels like the same vibes, just sapphic. But the only thing that's like kind of confusing when you're listening to it on audio, first, The audio narrators are incredible. They've been like, they've done so well. The different accents, it has not been confusing to follow at all. Sometimes when I struggle with sapphic books because either they use the same narrator for both female like characters, and it gets kind of confusing of like where you are and what's happening. And I haven't had that issue in this book, which has been really great. The only thing that's really confusing is how this book is like broken up into sections. And so it's got like, right, so this one's like Sabine, and then it's chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then, you know, we've got Alice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anytime like a new Alice chapter starts, it's like Alice 1, and I'm like, what? Why are we back to chapter 1? We're not. We're just at the first part of that section. So that's taken some getting used to. And it's hard to like know how far I've gotten in the book because of that. So that's been really interesting to play with. But I've really liked it so far. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna just pick up the physical copy and go read the physical copy, or if I'm gonna pick another book to read. Because yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I may just keep reading it and in the physical form, but I'm not sure yet. That was a failed attempt at reading outside. I read the prologue and then started getting eaten alive by bugs and my allergies started freaking out. So that's enough of that. We'll just stay inside for the rest of the day. Okay, we have just under 3.5 hours left. Took a short break to shower, eat dinner, do all of that good stuff. And so now I can just kind of sit down and enjoy the rest of the evening. I am one chapter into Problematic Summer Romance. So far I know nothing except for the fact that we're going to a wedding in Italy and we're not super excited about it. I wonder if I should have read any of Allie's other books. Hopefully it's not an interconnected standalone. I don't think so. But yeah, so we're gonna just sit and I'm hoping to just binge it and finish the whole thing tonight because that's one of my favorite things to do with contemporary romances. Is just they're the best consumed in one sitting. So we got 3.5 hours. Hopefully we can finish it. Okay, I am about an hour and 10 minutes into Problematic Summer Romance, and I've read 127 pages so far. So about 100 pages in an hour, so that's pretty good. I'm really liking it so far. I'm not usually a big fan of like time jumps when time jumps happen, and especially in romance books, because it feels like it is really unneeded. But I like how in this book it kind of feels like memories. And so I'm really kind of liking that. So far so good. I'm a little confused about their like dynamic and like where the like issue of their relationship lies. Like, is it just the age gap or is there more to it? I don't know, because they just yeah, I don't know. I like them so far. I think Maya is really fun. She's like one of the funny, like most fun FMCs I've read in a contemporary romance in a while. Like, she doesn't make me want to scream. So, yeah. 14 chapters in. We've got a little under 2 hours left of our reading for today. But I'm probably, like, I'm feeling... Of course, as soon as I say that, I was like, I'm feeling pretty good. I will probably just keep reading until either I finish it or I fall asleep for the night. Okay, it is time. 24-hour reading challenge is complete. I think Luna took it harder than I did, but I finished 2 books and I have less than 100 pages left of problematic summer romance. So I would say it was a successful challenge. I'm gonna try to get this book done tonight, and then then I'm gonna sleep because it's been a long day. But I feel like three full books and part of an audiobook is pretty good. Yeah. We have officially finished the readathon for our first ever reading for 24 hours challenge, which I think was a success. I feel pretty good. I will say that today I am exhausted. So I went to bed last night around midnight-ish once I finished reading Problematic Summer Romance. And now I'm just tired. Like, my brain is just like, bleh. But I think we can officially say that the reading slump is squashed because I am excited to read again. I am excited to get myself into another book, and I'm actually going to go to Barnes right now and see if I can find some books. So let's do the stats of what we read over the last couple of days. So on Friday night, we read for about 11 hours. I finished Ruin on my Kindle, and I got most of the way through Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and I really enjoyed this one. Let's start with Ruin first. So for Ruin, I think I've landed on giving it a 3.75 stars. I really liked it. I thought it was fun, but now that I've sat with it a little bit more, there were just some things that I didn't love about just like the story and the world. I think that the relationship was not as developed as I would have liked it to be. I still enjoyed it. I still want to read the second one. I just think now that, like, when you sit on something for a little bit and you're like, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought it was. Maybe that was just the high of finishing a book. I think that's kind of where I'm at with Ruin specifically. I had a lot of fun with it. It was very cute, very fast. It was just like a really, like, a romantasy that I could just like pick up and read when I needed to. Yes, hello, thank you so much for your help. Oh. It was a romantasy that I could just pick up and read when I needed to, and didn't take a lot of brain power, didn't have a lot of world building. I thought that the world building pieces that were within it were pretty unique. As I said earlier in my review, I think the Hades Persephone retelling it either needed to like lean more into the Hades Persephone retelling, or it didn't need to add some of those elements, because I thought it was fine without the references that it would have made to Hades and Persephone. I thought it would have stood alone as not a retelling. So I'm kind of disappointed in some of those things, but I'm interested to see if that changes in book 2. But overall, 3.75 stars for Ruin. Okay, the next book we finished was Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is book 1 in the duology. Yes, it's a duology. I have not read the Shadow and Bone series. I didn't watch it on Netflix or anything like that when it came out, but I ate this up. I thought it was so fun. The first half was a little slow, but I think it's probably because I just needed to get back into the YA fantasy mindset, right? They don't run as fast as new adult fantasies do. And so it's like, I think I just needed to get into the mindset of YA fantasy, and maybe if I would have read the Shadow and Bone series, I would have understood some things a little bit more, like the world and the magic system, but I don't really want to. I really just want to read this one, and I want to read the second one because I want to know what's going to happen next. And so I've already downloaded book 2 on my Kindle because it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm going to probably start that in the next couple of days. While I'm like excited about it, while I'm thinking about it. So Six of Crows, I gave this a 4.75 stars, I think is what I ended up on. I think the only reason that it didn't get a 5 is I just didn't have that, like that 5-star feeling, right? If I would have read this at 16, I think it would have become my entire personality. So, yeah. So then we didn't finish this one, but we're still in the middle of it. I got about 4.5 hours read of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I'm listening to this on audio. It is so good. Whoever said it is toxic sapphic vampires was absolutely right, because that is exactly what this is. If I could explain to you the storyline without spoiling everything, I 100% would, but I can't. And so I just need you to know that this is toxic sapphic vampires, and that's what you need to know. And if you've seen like the Netflix show, or you watched the book or read the book, Interview with the Vampire, it definitely gives those vibes as well, like the British time warping kind of vibes. It's very, 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 very good. V.E. Schwab never misses. That's all I have to say is V.E. Schwab, she never misses. And then the last book that we read was Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. This is the first ever Ali Hazelwood book that I've read, and I had a great time. I thought this was so fun. I think age gap is really hard to do well, and I think that she does it well. I'm not a huge age gap romance lover, but I think she handled it with a lot of grace, as well as made it really fun, especially when the age gap is best friend's brother. I think it was handled really well in this. And so that's all I'm going to say about it, because I feel like I've spoiled it enough for you by just saying that. But it's so good. The time jumps are not confusing. I really liked the time jumps. I thought they actually fit really well into the story and didn't feel like I was being lost in it. I feel like a lot of the times when we're jumping back in time, I get lost and I'm like, wait, why are we jumping back? That doesn't feel relevant. Whereas during this book, it did. It really helped build up the fact that at the end of whatever, I can't say that or it will spoil it. But I think the time jumps really worked in this, and I thought that it was really well done. Will I be picking up another Ali Hazelwood book? Maybe. I don't have anything against it. I really think if I were, I'm going to jump into Deep End. LOL, jump into Deep End. I would read Deep End because I know that that's kind of a part of this universe or whatever. They're not necessarily interconnected standalones, but they definitely are in the same universe when you look at it on Goodreads. So I may read that one. I've heard it's good. I like swimming. But I'm also not oh my god, I must read another Ali Hazelwood book this second. I had a good time. I really liked it, but it's not the best romance book I've ever read, if that makes sense. And that's it for the stats for the readathon. I didn't get as many books finished as I thought I would. I thought I would read a little faster, but I think coming into this and coming out of a slump, I think it was a lot harder for me to like really immerse myself into the story, so I was reading just a little slower than I normally would. Like I think I finished Problematic Summer Romance the fastest, and I finished it in 4.5 hours, which 4.5 hours for about 400 pages, so yeah, that's about on par with my reading speed. So I think the other ones just took me a little bit longer than I anticipated them doing that. For some reason, I was like, you're gonna get through like 6 or 8 books, and I didn't, which is fine. If you like this, please like and subscribe. I am hoping to do maybe another reading challenge, or if you have challenges that you think that I should do, like, you should let me know, because I like to do all of these really fun challenges. Sometimes I run out of just like, how do I want to pick a book? And because I'm a mood reader, TBRs don't really work for me. So I kind of just like vibe when I pick my books, but I'm excited to see how we can get through some more books this summer. Yeah, follow me on all of the other socials if you want to see more up to date and content more often than like the once a month I tend to post on YouTube. And I will see you in the next one.